Hey, what's up? I'm Luis.
I'm Abby.
And this is The Conversation, where we bring you news and topics that will get you talking today. And today we have somewhat of a kind of like a big breaking news out of California. Yeah, we have this image of this person known as the Golden State Killer that apparently may have been caught.
Yes.
What? So like you've been all over this morning,
yes.
You know, and just so you know, if you're watching, we're following your comments and your questions in the comments, but there's also a live press conference about this
happening
going on
right now.
Yes. So, but like, tell us what's this? Who is this guy? You know, what happened?
Yeah, so we'll put a link to the post that we have on The Conversation. That's the blog that Luis and I write.
In fact, I'll put it on right now.
Yeah, and we are doing a little backstory, a little update for you guys on what's going on with this so-called Golden State Killer, because there's big news out of...
I don't think I'd ever heard of him before.
There's big news out of Northern California this morning because... a suspect reportedly in this case of the Golden State Killer has been arrested, and like we said, the press conference with local law enforcement in Sacramento is going on right now, and they are going to be making an announcement about this case and about this suspect. Mm-hmm. So the Golden State Killer, he's also known as the East Area Rapist and the original Night Stalker. He's one of those notorious, really well-known sort of serial killer types that his case has become of huge interest among true crime fans, podcasts, books, news reports, documentaries. There's tons of coverage of this out there, but it happened so long ago that the case has really been dormant for a long time now.
So he committed these crimes and he eluded apprehension. He eluded arrest.
Yeah, so his
for years.
He's been connected to all these different crimes, according to the FBI, by DNA and patterns in the crimes.
Can you say like what are some of those examples of some of those crimes?
Yeah, so starting in 1976 is kind of when he first came on the scene in the Sacramento area, and his crime spree, according to the FBI, lasted all the way up till 1986. But there's been no new, there have been leads and, bits of information that have bubbled up over the years, but it's really until today that there's been like some major reason to be excited that, some real news might be coming.
A real development.
And so the FBI says that they believe he's responsible for 45 rapes, 12 homicides, and more than 100 burglaries. And his so-called reign of
And was this mostly
crimes.
Like in Northern California?
Yeah, so it started there, but then it slowly spread, outside to Stockton and some other kind of Bay Area cities,
California?
And then on down into Southern California and even Irvine. So this has been it's one of the biggest cases in California history as far as sort of serial killers and crime sprees.
I don't know. I don't know if you learned this, but I would wonder like how police are able to connect all these crimes to these person. Okay, so
this is the FBI's drawing.
So
that
this
they've
is
been working with for
the FBI
decades
sketch. So what happened recently? Like local police arrested someone.
Yeah. So this morning, an arrest was made of a 72-year-old man, and his name is Joseph James DeAngelo, and the big announcement's coming shortly or currently in the press conference, but he's reportedly, Sacramento Bee and others are reporting that there are ties to this Golden State Killer case and this suspect. So he was arrested on 2 counts of murder this morning, and authorities, they've been hunting for this guy for so long, and like I said, there's books and podcasts and all sorts of things that sort of attract this guy's story for decades
just
now.
like the Zodiac killers and all the other serial killers that we've seen. We're reading the comments right now. Debbie said, just watch the series, and I sure hope they get this bastard. We can say that, and Kim Platt asks, were you guys even alive when these killings occurred? I wasn't. you know,
Nor was I.
but you know, I don't think that really matters. What matters is that, you know, police feel like they've definitely made you know, a big break in this case, you know, and it'll be interesting. I'll be interested in finding out like what police use, like fingerprint, DNA, like what do they use to like, you know, connect this guy.
Some of the details of these crimes that, you know, the FBI has categorized him as connected with are truly gruesome. The details are, you know, really horrific and include, you know, gunshots and like shootings, but also, you know, break-ins and tie-ups and just some really sort of dark stuff that has again spread for a long time without really being sorted out. So the news is big today.
And your post, which I posted the link to in the comments, you know, that has like some of those details, right?
Yeah.
Not to go into them right now, but you know, it has like some of those, you know, the way he carried out some of these crimes.
Yeah, and the other kind of interesting, unique thing about this, you know, the person that has been sort of been looked for by authorities for a long time now is that he's believed to have some sort of military training or really strong familiarity with firearms, which, you know, is sort of tied into all of the ways he was able to elude police for so long. And there are so many theories out there. Again, if you guys go Google it, Google either the Golden State Killer or
and I saw a little bit of I saw a little bit on social media this morning. You know, what else are people saying about this? Because I know, like I said, you know, I had never heard of this guy's name before, or the name Golden State Killer. But you know, were there other people that like were talking about it? What are they saying? Yeah,
so My Favorite Murder, which is one of the biggest true crime podcasts out there, you know, was just tweeting.
That's the name of the podcast? My Favorite Murder?
My Favorite Murder, where they kind of go through some of these bigger cases in history to talk about, you know, the details and some of the most interesting facts about them. But they are tweeting. A lot of other true crime fans and podcasts out there were tweeting their excitement, which, again, these are horrific details that come from this case, and these crimes were just so terrible in the 70s and 80s. But a lot of people who have been following the case are expressing excitement that, you know, maybe this could be wrapped up today. So, you know, all caps. Someone says I need to take off work to make sure I watch the press conferences. That's Abby just said on Twitter.
You don't have to take off work. You can just watch it from your work computer or your mobile phone.
And Natalie Bochinsky says, if you're not into true crime, solving this case would be like the true crime equivalent of landing on the moon. It's epic in every way. Fingers crossed for a result.
Wow.
And one other interesting thing about this case is that the late wife of Patton Oswalt, who's a pretty famous comedian, her name is Michelle McNamara. She wrote a pretty popular book about this. You know, she's tracked this case for a long time and really went into the details, and this book is really well known. It's called I'll Be Gone in the Dark. And so Patton Oswalt was tweeting this morning too, and a lot of people were tying kind of her efforts to put a spotlight back on this case to sort of the renewed interest and kind of pointing out that she did pass away in 2016 and how big of a deal it is that her book and you know, her efforts to put a spotlight on this case may, you know, have played a part in where we are today with it. So that's another thing that you will see on Twitter today is people praising her book and sort of talking about that book. So any readers out there, let us know what you thought about it.
I feel like I'm gonna need to like spend some time this afternoon.
Yeah, this
maybe
is one
lunch,
of those things where
you
you're
know,
just
to like kind of really get into it because
deeper and deeper into it.
I get a feeling like some of my California friends, especially in Northern California, are gonna like be talking about it. And I'm gonna be like, so what's the mood like, you know?
Right, and this is, we have several staff members here too who have already expressed that either they grew up in the Bay Area or Sacramento area, or their family members did, and so they have ties to the case that way because, you know, when these were going on, it was really feared in communities up there that he was still on the loose. So.
Well, I mean, if you're online and you can watch the live stream, in fact, I can probably go into your story, but this Abby's story has the link to the live stream where the press conference is actually happening right now. Yeah,
Fox 40 in Sacramento, which actually has its own podcast about this case, has a live stream. So either check it out that way, or
I'm gonna post it right now.
I'll share a link with you all.
Yeah, so I just share the link to the live press conference. So go watch it.
We'll be running upstairs here in the Union-Tribune newsroom to go watch it right after this.
Well, maybe I'll be like walking really fast, but yeah.
And we will update with any new news into this blog post. Again, we're The Conversation, and that's what we wrote about in our blog today.
We're here every weekday at noon, and yeah, and that's it for us today. We'll see you tomorrow.